Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this morning session. I'm glad that you can make it to hear how to discover how Simplifai can transform your business. On the webinar today, we have Henrik T. Clementson, and he is Head of Global Partnerships at Simplifai. He'll be delivering the content of the webinar today. So if you do have any questions, we'll have Q&A at the end. But before we kick off, I just wanted to run over some very quick housekeeping with you. Just to let you know, you will be muted, and if you do have the questions for the Q&A at the end, please submit them via the questions box on the right hand side of the screen. You can also use this as well if you've got any kind of like audio issues, or you can't see the screen or the slides aren't moving or something. Just let us know, pop a little note in the questions box, and we'll monitor that just to check everything's working okay. The webinar recording will be made available to you later today, so keep a lookout for that, and you'll be able to play that back and also share that with your colleagues. And just to let you know, there is there's a survey at the end with just sort of 2 or 3 questions, which we really appreciate if you'll be able to fill out for us. Just some feedback on how you felt today's session went, and we really value your feedback. So before I pass you over to Henrik, I'm just going to pass over to Ella, who is our ISV lead at Bytes, and she's just going to cover off a couple of bits before she hands over to Henrik. So thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Good morning all, and welcome to the Bytes Simplify webinar. I'm Ella, and as the ISV program lead here at Bytes, I'm responsible for assisting our account managers with the relationship they hold with our ISV customer base. Just to introduce the ISV program briefly, it is a program uniquely designed with software companies in mind and focuses on 3 areas: cloud optimization, security assistance, and market growth. Using our specialist Microsoft team and Quantum for Azure software, we drive visibility of cloud spend and recommend cost savings through the use of reserved instances, high-produce benefit, and soon we will be releasing an even more comprehensive version of the platform that will analyze SQL instances and use the power of AI to drive analytics around future spend, forecasting, and cost efficiency. Security is an area in which Bytes has spent years specialising in and refining. We have managed services to help our customers assess and remediate security risks and vulnerabilities, and a security team to help ensure our customers are making the best decisions at the best price points available to them. And market growth. Today's webinar is a fantastic example of how we provide our ISVs with exposure to new clients and present an opportunity for them to showcase their solution. The relationship with Simplifai arose from their want to build out a market here in the UK, so Bytes have been working with them to assist them on that journey. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Simplifai to introduce their unique solution.
Thank you so much, Cassie and Ellie. I also turn on my camera so you can see me, and then I go to presenter mode. Like that. So now you should see my start screen.
Yeah, all good.
Perfect. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you for the introduction, both Cassie and Ella. And we at Simplifai are so happy to be able to work with you in Bytes. Good discussions, fantastic customer opportunities, and so happy to have this webinar together. We are already also in close dialogue with customers of yours regarding our services. So it's a really good background for now being able to show you more of what we can to more of your customers. Well, Henrik is my name. Working at Simplifai. I started in March this year, so not very old in the company, but I'm starting to get quite many years of experience in the IT world. Started as a developer, actually, mid-90s. That's also sometimes a really good background when you're working in an AI company like Simplifai. But quickly went into consulting and then into sales. So previous to Simplify, I came from Oracle, which you may have heard about, a quite big American company, working with the customer experience solutions there, like service and sales, on named accounts in Norway, huge enterprises. Before that, I was close to 13 years in Canon, working with solution business. So working with scanning, interpretation, purchase to pay solutions and such. Not that much with printers, but yes, I know a thing or two about printers, I must say. But a fantastic journey and really interesting to have that background into the job I now have at Simplify. Because when we also 20 years ago talked about scanning and interpretation, OCR, which you may have heard about, well, that is still a background for the future solutions, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the base of where the data comes from. So I'm really happy to be in my position, but I'm more satisfied with actually having the capabilities to talk with customers like you in detail about your coming future journey. So that's also something I wanted to just state, that I hope that several of you will take contact and use our wish to get in one-to-one dialogue with each and one of you to see if there is something we actually can do together. Well, enough about me, although I like skiing in the winter and riding a motorbike and bicycle in the summer, and I love traveling. So this pandemic thing, well, I hope it ends soon. Love to come back to England, all the way from north to south, and looking forward to that. Well, short agenda, which you may have seen. The most interesting part here is definitely, of course, what we do, why we are talking about automation, the concept of digital employees, and I have one or maybe two case studies, if you have the time, that we can walk through. But why are we doing what we are doing? Well, we are really thinking about the customer, your customers. And what has happened throughout the time of internet stores and such? Well, their expectations are increasing. They expect consistency, as you see here. They really like it when things are open 24/7. Well, not all services need to be, but the ones that you really would like to be, when you can get a response, not only just a computer-made response, but a smart response with some content and speed. To actually have speed in your claims handling, in your customer service department. Important, the customer, because it's the customers that pays you, that pays all the different tasks around our jobs. Well, Simplify. We are a scale-up. Okay, that's the step after a startup. So in 2017, we were a startup. So we are not that old, but we are quite smart, we think. So we have grown a lot. We are Microsoft partners, and that's also why our partnership with Bytes is just so natural. The knowledge that you at Bytes have within Azure, where we have our whole solution, is outstanding. So, and we have talked to quite many, both in the Norwegian region, over in the US, and all over the globe, actually. I'll show you a map a little later. But we have our solutions in Microsoft Azure. We are using all the security available, because that's important for us. It's important for our customer data, and it's important for you as potential customers. So what we have done with our now around 140 employees is that we have tried to really make advanced solutions easy available. And we have connected it to interpreting text. And it's still a lot of text around. with emails, with chat, in documents. So we are quite sure that we will still have something to do many years ahead. We have put our smartest people together to really make out-of-the-shelf solutions, to interpret text in a smart way so we can actually understand what stands there, not only by entities, but also intent. So to understand the intent in the text is one of our unique selling points. And to do this and to make it easily understandable, we have also then connected the different functionalities into what we call digital employees. So we have pre-trained digital employees into different positions. So it's extremely fast startup for our services. So, well, we have our headquarters in Oslo, where we also have our CTO and product lead and development lead and such. We have also a data science team in Kiev in Ukraine. We have also sales and marketing and partner development in Pune in India. And then we have dedicated sales teams in Copenhagen, Stockholm, and Amsterdam. And then we have partners like Bytes for the whole UK. We have partners in the Middle East and North Africa, and we have partners for APAC. And that's where myself and my team are so happy to work then globally with creating good partnerships. And good partnerships is based on sharing. So we really want to share our time and experience with Bytes and with you as customers. When you see this map and you then think about data security, well, we are extremely aware of the needs within data security. So for the European Union, we are talking about GDPR, of course. And we have also with insurance customers gone through every tiny bit of GDPR, both on data access and also data security. And we are now fully compliant. So as long as we are in charge of the data, it's all compliant with the GDPR rules and regulations. And also between our different data centers, there is no possibility to access across borders. Across borders within EU, of course, but from the Kiev office, no access to the European site, and the same for our Indian environment. So we are very aware of that, and we shall be best in class in these areas. So I just wanted to pinpoint that specifically. Okay, our vision, AI for the future workforce. Our mission then to make AI simple and accessible for all. Big sentences, but we'll see. Okay, a little pause slide here before we dive into the really good and interesting material, I must say. I hope you think the same. But the word says that are on this slide is important. And this is also the feedback that we are getting from our existing customers. There are some good effects, both internally and externally, when you're doing the right things with your processes. Okay, but what do we do then? Well, we have really used this thing called NLP, natural language processing, in a good manner. So to understand the intent of text that you receive by email or by a chat or by a messenger service or by a web form, it's the same for us. We can receive it in any way of the customer wants, and we can then use NLP in a smart way for then the next use in the process. So the difference between entities and intents is that an entity is like you see here, my customer ID is, or a name, or another reference number, or if you're thinking invoices, well, then it's currency, it's the amount, it's the business that sends you the invoice. Or in a retail online retail store, well, it's maybe your cost number or your order shipment number, entity. A lot of solutions can find entities in your text. So that's not where we are very special. And that's been accessible through OCR solutions, scanning interpret solutions for over 20 years. But to read the sentence that you see here, I want to open a business account, or I want to complain about my delivery of your services. To read that sentence and understand the intent, well, that's where we mean that we have something special. And that's what we do. And that's what we have done with our developers to create out-of-the-box solutions to make it easily accessible for everybody. And that's what I also want you to think about for your business. Where do you have a lot of correspondence? Do you have documents? Do you have incoming emails? Do you have incoming emails that triggers internal activities? And that's where we really can have something to talk about together, of course. So we see bespoke AI solutions, they can be fantastic. We acknowledge that. But if you need that, well, then you have some really good companies and consultancy companies that can help you with that. If you do have a text-related process that you can or think you will optimize, speak to us and we can give you the details and a scope for a potential project quite easily. And then it's just to remember, we can receive text and information in a lot of different scenarios and through different channels. We're also now working with a bank in India where a lot of dialogue goes through the app WhatsApp. So we have now also connected our language engine to WhatsApp's API. So yeah, that's now that's already out of the box in our connecting store. So just as an example. So if it's a service portal, CRM, or documents, no worries. We can manage it, interpret it, and use it in the proper way forward. And of course, language is also a big area. So quite many language engines are good in English because a lot of them are created in the US. To have then other languages is quite interesting. And we have found out that, well, we are using, from day one until we have a new language, which is quite good. It takes about a month with an AI trainer, which we then have. Within 2 months, well, we are really up and running at a high level of understanding. So as you see here, we have 9 languages as of today, but we can easily add new languages. And we have contacts with resources that assist us with this in any language that you would have of need. Then also based on one of the other findings is that as a result of implementing our solutions, you can actually experience that you will have higher employee satisfaction. And that could be a good way of actually automating a process. But why intelligent process automation then? Well, we are all into these three main business goals. Either if you are in IT, in facility management, in sales, in marketing, in support, we have the goal of increasing productivity. And to do that, and at the same time, have happy employees and the right customer satisfaction level. It's demanding, I know, and you know. But to then actually have the capability to do it, then it's quite fun. So this is really why you should think about intelligent process automation. Because to remove the repetitive tasks and automate them gives a lot of these goals, builds up under exactly these areas. I know that to reduce cost can quite often be a difficult area to talk about. Yes, we have participated in making companies able to reduce cost, but more and more customers of ours are reducing cost by being able to not hire. They don't have to let people go because they can use their already trained resources into new activities internally. Then they can increase sales and keep the same workforce. But yes, of course, they need a digital employee from us. So that's how you can internally talk about reducing cost. Well, you actually have a lower alternative cost for your growth in the future. And that's also in the second part there, enable scaling with low cost. In addition, increasing efficiency. Here I have some slides and some numbers which doesn't have the answers, but I think it's a good activity just as a background for future collaboration. Things you can think about, how it is managed in your organizations. And we have a lot of these discussions every day, every week, both with partners like Bytes and other partners throughout the world, but not at least with you as customers. And we are also sometimes really feeling that, well, it's easy to protect your as-is setting. Well, it works. Yeah, it works, but how well does it work? And for how long time will it work? Okay, time spent, 5 seconds on a simple inquiry, 10 minutes on a complex case. Is that 3 minutes on average? Well, you see the numbers with question marks. To actually have pinpointed those and find out how this exactly then works in your environment would make a brilliant background for future communication with us. Because repeating tasks like fetching information or download attachment or read and interpret an email and the additional tasks you see here, well, boom, they can all be automated by us. I guess that was no surprise, but it's important to have the different areas to think about. Which tasks do your customer center or sales or service department do every day? And which one of them would they like to let go? Not because it's not going to be done, but because something else can do it. Okay, one workday, 480 minutes in average. Customer support, do each and every resource receive 50 emails a day, or 70, or 40, or 100? Okay, so if you have 480 minutes, and I haven't calculated in lunch here. And we had a customer that stated that, well, we can actually manage 1 email a minute. Well, that's quite nice. Do your resources then actually manages 480 emails a day? No, that's not possible. Exactly, that's not possible. You can drink 1 glass of water in a minute, but you can't take 60 of them in an hour. And that's where we really build up under our whole concept of a digital employee. But think about the numbers, discuss it internally, set it up, and I'm happy to be challenged in how well you are set up, or if we actually could have something to talk about. Because removing time-consuming and repetitive tasks is important. All right, I'll dive into a case study. We have a company called ClaimsLink as a customer. They are a part of Söderberg Partners Group. Yes, they are based in Oslo, and they became a customer 2 years ago, actually, so quite early in our company history. But from start until the first solution were up and running, it took 3 months. Now our digital employee called Södde, because they are, as you saw, owned by Söderberg Partners, so they really like the name Södde, is now reading 100% of the incoming email. 80% of those are not touched by humans, as you see here. And it gave their claims handlers 60% new capacity. Did they then fire resources? No. They set themselves an internal target to increase their business with the as-is resources and Södde. I'm not going to read this because this is not a slide for presentation, but they have over 7,000 claims cases that they manage every year for their customers. So when we came in, we started to dive in with managing them over a year, and they have increased to around 10,000 cases. 48,000 emails is sent then to the customer service team, and 120,000 email cases to the claims team. So here we have put our digital employee, integrated it with the CRM and IT systems, and then manages a lot of different tasks. So they receive claims questions and invoices, they understand, sort, forward inquiries. And our digital employee now also registered claims directly in their backend solution. So we can have a digital employee that goes from all the very simplicity email dispatcher tasks to really advanced IT management. Well, at least case management, not to try to bite over too much. He or she can archive, fetch invoices, send back to the customer when we have stated that it's a valid customer with the right email address and the right customer number, based on security again, of course. In this case, we have integrated with SharePoint and Dynamics, and we are using several modules to build our digital employee here, which I'll also discuss a little more in detail afterwards. And yeah, you need to have a little fun. This was the startup day of Södde. So they had cake and champagne, or at least something good to drink, on the first day of Södde at ClaimsLink. And of course, every employee has a performance review, so they have been also doing that. Just for fun, I know. But look at these numbers. We are quite proud of actually having assisted ClaimsLink in managing year one over 50,000 emails read and managed, 72,000 documents interpreted, registered by itself 3,500 cases, and of course 0 days sick based on the high availability in Azure and 0 coffee cups consumed. So, well, ClaimsLink, they are quite happy, as you understand. And we also, our delivery manager, Oda, which is her name, talked to the customer last week, and they were quite amazed when they then now came back from summer holidays. It had never been that tidy in their case management backend system. So, yeah. And we have several of those customers. So I also have ready 2 more case studies, but we'll see. Time is flying fast when you are having fun. I hope you have a good time. But now I'll dive into the concept of digital employees. And yes, we have out-of-the-box solutions. But the last sentence here can be customized to fit your needs. And ClaimsLink is definitely an example of that. They have a lot of standard features, but they have also been challenging us. And we love to be challenged. And we have this competition going on between sales and tech delivery. There is no IT solution that we haven't been able to integrate with yet. So that's, well, if you want to, try to give us a tough case in that area, and we'll see. And the whole thing about then using NLP, natural language processing, understanding the intent, and using then our capabilities within AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, we can communicate back to the customers in a more intelligent way, because we can use their intent when answering. And that really differs us from other solutions. So from the whole concept of receiving, interpreting, then we can make decisions agreed on in the project with you as customer. Then we can make the solution act and interact to respond back with questions or with updates or with specific case management information. And to that, we are using different modules. So with 1 or 2 or all of these modules, we create digital employees, like email coordinator Emma. So here we are using our email bot, we are using our decision engine, and we always have the API, which is the data connection layer available. And we are also very happy working together with RPA providers like UiPath, like Blue Prism, like Automation Anywhere. And they also see that we are so good in structuring unstructured text that several of their customers again are hiring us to do the front tasks before information is put into RPA projects. And if you don't know what RPA is, that's fine. We can talk about it and explain more. Here you see we have pre-trained email coordinator Emma to receive emails, interpret them, decide, act, interact. And this can be done with or without any integration backend. And that's also a part of our whole environment. Every employee, as real employees like you and me, we get smarter all the time. So in a case, like with, for example, customer support agent Carl, if there comes in customer cases that he don't understand, well, you as a customer or your delivery partner will immediately get a notice that, well, here we have an unrecognized inquiry. And then you go into our Simplify Studio. You tell the system that, well, on this type of interaction, you choose this next action. Then you send it to the training queue, and right then and there, support agent Carl has become smarter. So we have a standard studio where all our partners and our customers, and we are also very happy with customers that really want to start using the back end of this solution themselves. That's not what everybody is going to do, but if you have a super user or two, for example, in a customer center, that's perfect. Then you really can get the full use of the training capabilities in our digital employees. Like here, claims coordinator Chris. This is the brother of Södde. So he can really do good things within claims management, if that's an important area for you and your business. And our digital employees are working side by side with the other managers or the other customer clients. So it's not, they are not having their own desk and such, but they are a user in the system, and you can get a full traceability of all the tasks done by your digital employee. So we also have collection services assistant, like assisting with all types of rules and regulations with this type of actions, based on, of course, your needs. But we have one right out of the box, and then it needs a very little add-on training to get it compliant to your environment. Same within the credit assistant. And then it's in Simplify Studio, it all happens. So, of course, a web-based portal where either you yourself as a customer or your delivery partner then is managing your digital employees. So you are using the different building blocks to create your own digital employee, or you can use one of our standard digital employees. So what we see that most customers are doing right now is actually taking one of our standard ones, which can start work on day 2, with actually assisting you with your different tasks, and then use that as a base for making it even more appropriate for your specific needs. And Simplify Studio also has its own action flow. It's all click, choose, and save based. So you don't need any requirement within programming. So if you have a super user that is super user in your service solution, like Freshdesk or any type of other CRM solutions, they easily understand our environment here. And if you then have a specific CRM or service system that you want us to integrate with, well, we do that also directly in Simplify Studio through our connection site. So we create a dedicated connection between our capabilities in our different modules with the data fields and capabilities in your specific solution, with a secure end-to-end connection. And then you see here, well, then you can receive a case or an email, interpret the entity and the intent. Then it can use both for different actions onwards. So here it is an example of, does it contain like customer number? Yes, okay. Next action, no. Well, then you actually can get the solution to send an email back. Please add your customer number for further, for easier managing your case. like an example. Or if it's based on an intent, like opening a new account, or I want to return my goods, or any other type of intent. It can be used directly in the action flow. So we have a good knowledge of different solutions already, of course, and we are very happy to be challenged in type of different integrations. Then back to claims link. We have also now a 4-pager with a front page. So here is 5, of course, in PDF, which we are happy to send you. So we also can get some more detailed data about what our solutions can do, and also this case specifically. And this is with the updated 2021 numbers. So, what would make you happy? And what will make your company happy? I would really like to get in touch with several of you regarding this. I have now gone through what we are doing in Simplify, why we are doing it, because we want AI to be easy, accessible, and we see that the combination of our capabilities in understanding the content, the intent in the text, combined with our AI understanding, really gets our customers happy, and it gets their employees happy, and it gets their customers happy. So I hope that going through these slides, I know it was quite many of them, and I even have more, but I think 45 minutes talking about this is a good startup. And I'm really interested in both if there are any questions, or if we can then potentially have one-to-one meetings onwards. But I know that Ella will definitely follow up on that one.
Thank you, Henrik.
Cassie.
Thank you. I hope everyone found that useful. If you do have any questions, please pop them in the questions box on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm just going to open it up now and see if we have any questions. So, someone asks, how do you connect this service to our email solution?
All right. Well, that is easily done in Simplify Studio. So when you have and it doesn't matter what type of email system you have, because you have an email address and you have this email service. If it's SMTP, and we just configure it with the right port, with the right access data, and it's a secure connection. So we configure that in Simplify Studio. And we can also then decide with you where in the email chain we want us to be. So with some customers, we, like with the Claims Link, we are the ones that receives the email first, because they want it that way. They see that the capabilities we have with Sudda is so good for their organization that our digital employee reads all the emails first and then forwards the ones that needs to be forwarding, and then managing the ones that needs to be managed directly. But we, with other customers, we are also number 2 in line, because there they maybe want to filter it by other features first. But that's up to each and every project to decide. Sure.
Great. We have another question. So security is of real importance to our business. Please, can you just mention again how you're working on that?
Yeah. all the data is encrypted by Microsoft in Azure. So we, Simplify, cannot access our customers' data. And that's also really important to know. So that's one part. The other part is that all connections done are done and created in the most secure way. So when we are integrating, like with Salesforce or with an Oracle solution or with Lime CRM, we are using also with these connection tokens to also then be able to encrypt the communication. So that's another part. So we are using, and we want to use, the highest grade of security that is possible for the different customer solutions. And then we are into the resource discussion. Because yes, we have employees in 3, 4, 5, 6 different countries. And 2 of them are outside the EU or the EEC. And there we are using the geolocation security provided by Azure to ensure that non-compliant resource is able to access the different nodes. So, and all this is gone through by Microsoft and by many of our customers. Yeah, we are really looking into to have the highest grade of security that we can at all times.
Great, perfect. Well, if anyone has anything else, please feel free to pop it in the box, or if you think of something later that you would like to reach out and ask, then of course you can speak to your Bytes account manager or email tellmemore@bytes.co.uk. We will be sharing the recording around, as mentioned, and we really appreciate it if you are able to just fill in those 2 or 3 questions at the end. There is also a box as well for any comments. So if you wanted a copy of the case studies that Henrik mentioned, then please do pop it in there, and then we'll know to share those with you. So other than that, that's all from me. Thank you, Henrik, so much today for your time. I know you're very, very busy, so it's great to get you on the session this morning. And everybody, again, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a fantastic day.
And thank you. This was
thank you. Good, thank you. Perfect. Thanks, Ella. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.